Hey everybody, and welcome to Arrow episode 4 of season 2, Crucible. Boy, what a big episode this is! But before we get into the big stuff, we'll talk about the quote-unquote main plot. You know, the villain of the week. Yeah, it was a bit of a bleh. Who cares? The only thing I could think of, there's like two sticking points. There's a few sticking points. One, the character just feels like a rejected Black Lightning character.
Especially with that music we heard surrounding him at one point.
Two, he does tie into the other plot with Oliver sponsoring a guns thing, but that also ties into Sebastian Blood, which then connects at the very end when we find out Sebastian Blood.
Yeah, the only thing he did of any consequence was hurt someone awesome.
We'll get to that. But yeah, I think, to be fair though, this is the first tiny little hint of the main plot of the season. It's 4 episodes in, we haven't even had it, because it takes a while before we kick in. Whereas last time, we had a lot more talking about the main plot. But
yeah, definitely.
I suppose, to be fair, we'll later learn that the plot really hangs along to the flashbacks a lot. But before we get into that, we did see more of Sin, and it seems that she may have met with Roy a few times because they seem to be a bit more friendly.
Yeah.
That was the odd thing, whereas, last episode, they had one scene together, now they seem to be a bit more friendly.
Yeah. I think they've seen each other around.
The only other tiny thing is, it tied into the gun plot, but we did get a brief appearance by Lila.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just a tiny appearance by Lila.
And she had that moment where she just had to slip it in and mention, I'm single too right now.
Yeah, it's just this neat little thing to keep her in the back of our minds.
Just to say she's interested.
Yeah, but there's two really huge things that stick in this episode, and they eventually tie in, so we'll start with the main stuff in the present, then we'll go to the past. Let's start. The episode begins with, the episode does begin at a party, and although it's a little comedic scene, the main point of it is Felicity realizes that Laurel and this mystery woman are connected. Oliver immediately goes to her. And that's when we find out. We can stop biting our tongues. It's Sara. Now,
She's beautiful and I love her.
Now, the good thing is, the show conveniently decides to immediately show, after we show Sara, it shows a reshot scene of her on the boat. Because if you remember,
it was a different actor.
In season 1, when they showed Sara on the boat, it was a completely different actor. Which is why they have to immediately show the reshot scene so you can get it going in your head that, yes, this is Sara, that's who it is. And as soon as you see it, your brain just forgets, oh, right, it was a long brown-haired woman. Who cares? Forget about that old Sara. She's dead now. This is a new Sara. We have a new Sara. Actually, we don't have a new Sara. It is Sara.
And because I originally watched things out of order, this is the person I knew as Sara. Katie Lotz, you are amazing.
Yeah, Sara is one of the best parts of season 2.
She is the best part of the entire friggin' Arrowverse, let's be real.
You know what? I won't deny she's one of the best characters. We'll get into her a lot more. Don't worry. She's a big part of season 2. She's one of the things that makes season 2 great. We're going to be talking about her a lot, so let's not rush ahead.
Katie Lotz, please come to Australia one day. She was scheduled to come to Oz Comic Con this year, but then Oz Comic Con got cancelled for obvious reasons, and anyone can figure out right now. But
yes, we did have. But yeah, this episode. Who cares about the so-called main villain? Who cares about the Flash? Who cares about the little bit at the end? All we care about is the Sara stuff and the flashback, but especially since that ties into it in my mind. Although it does introduce another character. We do get an introduction. Speaking of the actually, let's stick with Sara. Let's not jump around, because we do get a lot of talking about their connection. That you can really tell that Oliver and Sara have a connection that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, definitely.
It's unlike last time where flashbacks didn't often connect. this will very much connect, and they will reference each other a lot.
Yeah, because Oliver revealed to Diggle and Felicity that she didn't die. She didn't drown at the boat.
Wow,
He
not that
met,
boat.
Yeah, he met her again, and then he saw her die.
This begins a pattern of occasionally the present will, I don't know if you want to call it spoil, but it will foreshadow events that will happen in the flashback of the season. Because Sarah also says what happens to Slade. Now, we don't know that, but it just leaves us questioning, well, hang on. That answers that A, Sarah knows who Slade is, and something's happened.
Yeah, that kind of tells us some stuff is gonna happen in the flashbacks.
Yeah, but...
Nothing specific, but...
Yeah, I both love, and sometimes I find it a tiny bit annoying that they spoil, but also like the kind of intertwining flashbacks. Because it makes you actually care about the flashbacks. We do, yeah...
Yeah, because you want to learn how things happened the way they are now.
Yeah, we get some... not foreshadowing, but, we get hints of what Sarah's been up to since Oliver's last seen her. And, we even though now we know it's Sarah, it just makes the mystery even more big. We'll get into a lot more of what's happening, I think, next episode. But, man, there was so much to talk about.
Yeah.
So much to talk about, but also...
So little, sort of.
Yeah, but let's move on to the flashbacks. There wasn't that many scenes, because it picks up where we was with Oliver on this boat imprisoned.
Basically, a guy shot him to see if he's strong.
Yeah,
then
but
Sarah shows up at the end.
Hang on. We also get introduced to this Russian guy with a beard whose name we don't know. But, hey, this episode introduced two favourite characters. You got Sarah and I got another character.
Huh, I don't remember the Russian guy doing much, but I just don't remember much.
And I suppose it wouldn't be an Arrow review without me crapping on Laurel, so let's have a minute where we crap on Laurel for being an alcoholic.
Yeah, see, she doesn't like them lecturing her because of the hypocrisy.
But that's the reason they should lecture her.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is it's... Sometimes hypocrisy is okay. Like, let's say a parent got bad grades, dropped out of school. They should still be allowed to tell their kid to get good grades. Because it's like, don't end up like me.
Exactly. I love Lance
yeah,
and
Lance
Oliver.
is the perfect person to tell Laurel, hey, don't make my mistakes.
More reason for me to love Lance and more reason for me to hate Laurel. Yay! But like I said, I'm not even letting my negative opinions about Laurel drag on my ratings these days. It's just, this is a fact now. Laurel exists, who cares? But like I said, we've moved on from Laurel being bitchy about the Tommy dying. Now she's just being an alcoholic. And rule one of somebody having a problem is immediately, if you tell them they've got a problem, they deflect it onto somebody else. That's the thing. The second Oliver or Quentin tries to help, she'll immediately deflect it onto the stuff they've done.
Well, it's like the stages before she was in bargaining, like...
Okay, yeah, she's in denial, fine.
It's like, if I get the vigilante, then it'll make me feel better about Tommy.
Yeah, okay, well then...
And now it's just depression, like drinking everything away, especially at the end when we saw her popping pills.
Yeah, alright, well, hang on. Wait.
Yeah, it's supposed to be denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance.
Well, we never saw the denial phase, but this is a denial phase.
Granted, we had a time skip between the seasons.
Yeah, there wasn't much else, but there was a lot in this episode, but there wasn't also any bad points about this episode. The villain wasn't super exciting, and Laurel's just her usual self, who cares. But, man, we just get introduced to Sarah, and every bit...
Speaking of beautiful people, Felicity had some great outfits.
Well...
Seriously, I gotta give credit to the costume people on this show. Every outfit Felicity wears, she looks great. Alright,
well, you can stick to praising Felicity, but stick to praising Sarah more, because no one hates Sarah.
Sarah, you're beautiful and I love you.
Oh, man.
I sound like an obsessed... whatever, I sound weird, but...
See, I told you you'll love Season 2, and how could you not say you didn't love Season 2? Season 2's the season of Sarah. It's the most we'll get of Sarah until a certain other thing. But we'll talk about that in a while from now. But man, it's just so good to finally have Sarah. And like I said, we wouldn't have to wait too long to bite our tongues about the mystery woman. But all in all, like we said, there was a lot happened in the sense that there was some big stuff with Sarah, but the episode also felt like it went by quick.
I guess so.
There was a lot of Sarah scenes, and I loved...
I disagree. It felt slow at times. I was like, is it almost over? Nope, another scene.
Yeah, but, well, okay, at least we seem to have at least a hint of what our villain is, because now we've met Sebastian Blood, and now we've seen what he's doing, so that'll continue forward.
Yeah, that's a bit of a cliffhanger, how he injected the guy.
Yeah, but anyway, we're recycling our stuff over and over. Anyway,
And I like how, even though we don't know it at first watching, it does tie into the flashbacks because
yeah,
the misshapen skulls on the bodies had something to do with what he's injecting.
well, we'll get to that soon. We're almost there. Let's not rush ahead. The only thing worse than spoiling things seasons ahead is spoiling things 2 episodes ahead. I don't know about 2 episodes, but it's not that long.
Yeah.
Let's get to the season piece by piece. But anyway, that's the thing. Other than Laurel, I can't think of any bad points of this episode.
Yeah, this is great.
There was one. I will give once again. There was a teeny tiny mention of Star Labs.
Yes.
I love ongoing. You know what I love about that? Like I said, it's never a plot point. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment when the news is on. It usually plays on the news. Then we cut to more important stuff like a recap of what happened.
Yeah.
But
they're really setting up that particle accelerator thing.
But we'll get to that. It's not too far away either. Holy crap, it's crazy to think how much happens in season 2.
Can't wait till we've got Flash in the mix.
Yeah, alright, listen. Anyway, I'm thinking... last time I said 8, but... then I'm gonna give it if last time was an 8...
I'm thinking 7.
Really? You're saying that last episode was better?
7.5.
I'm giving it an 8.
Close.
I'm giving it an 8.5. I enjoyed this even more than last episode. It's really... you know what's really difficult about these episodes? Is trying to separate the episode from the excitement of what comes later.
Exactly. I love Sarah, but just her mere existence can't... I don't know.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You know, it's exciting.
I'll stick with 7.5. It's slightly not as good as the last one.
And I'll stick with 8.5. I think I enjoyed it more than the last one. The last one was still pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, next episode is League of Assassins.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that title name, and if you're familiar with the comics, that title name would have got people excited, but we'll get to that. They've foreshadowed that a bit. And yeah, we're going to get more Sarah next time. So, this episode I enjoyed this episode a lot. If you enjoyed this episode and enjoyed us, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see...
and tell me how much you love Sarah.
Sure, do that too. And we'll see you next time for the 5th episode of Arrow Season 2.